All right, welcome back to the Will and Russ Sports Podcast. Once again, this is episode 4, and I'm Russ.
And I'm your man, Will, aka Willstradamus.
Here we go. All right.
You know
All
that,
right.
baby. Put that in
Yeah,
there. Absolutely.
I got you. I got you. But so today we're gonna continue with our college football predictions. Today we're gonna do our predictions of the champions of each conference.
Each Power
Correct?
Five conference. Yeah, each Power Five conference.
The Power Five conferences. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
ACC, SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, and Pac
Okay.
12.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah,
Got you. Got you. All right. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna get into our Heisman picks,
that should be
predictions,
right.
and then we're gonna go and discuss who we think is the best conference. We'll have a little
Can't
debate on
wait.
that.
The way I can't wait for that. Oh my God, I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for that either.
Yep. We already know who's going where, and where each of us is deciding. But this is going to be a
Right.
great debate. So stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned, please.
Absolutely.
All right, Russ. So um, you want to do the honors on which conference you want to start with first? I mean,
No, you go
you know,
ahead. Pick one. Pick. Well, it don't matter. Pick whichever one you want.
okay. Let's start with the Pac-12 conference. The Pac-12 to me is a conference that's in flux right now. They're in flux. They're almost like, man, they're almost an afterthought, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, when you think about, you know at least the top five conferences in the Power Five, usually the Pac-12 is right up there with the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, in my opinion, Russ, to be blatant, I mean, to be blunt about it, the Pac-12 conference to me is one of those conferences. I'll put them last. If I'm ranking each conference,
Yeah.
I'm putting them last, man.
I agree. I mean,
I'm
at one
sorry to
time,
say, but
yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, at one time they had more strength when Oregon State was playing a little bit better.
yeah.
They had Oregon. They had USC is usually that's when USC was king at one point. UCLA,
Mhm.
even Colorado was pretty decent in Arizona. So I mean, not anymore though. Not anymore.
Right, right.
So now you're it's far in between. When with the teams that are successful.
Right. I mean,
I,
we were talking yesterday, Russ, about you know top heavy conferences. That's one of them.
yeah, that's
Bas-
very top heavy.
right. Basically, I mean, in that conference, in the Pac-12 conference, we're looking at Utah and Washington right now, at least. Maybe Oregon can sneak in there and change
Right.
things around a little bit because of the quarterback Justin Herbert and all that.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm going. The
Well,
top.
do the which are you gonna do one from the north and one from the south, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then pick the champion.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So essentially, what I'm saying, all right, in the Pac-12 North, I'm going with Washington again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think I think they got a little bit more of momentum from last year, even though last year didn't end really well with them in the Rose Bowl, losing to Ohio State.
Right.
However, this is the Pac-12. Washington has a lot of confidence in that conference, so
Yes.
I'll go ahead and put them at number one in the Pac-12 North, and in the Pac-12 South, I'm going with Utah.
Got you.
I mean,
Got
simple
you.
and plain. I mean, Utah, and this is unbelievably unbelievable for me to say, but Utah's better than USC by miles right now.
Yeah.
I know.
Definitely.
USC was the cream of the crop for
Crop.
us
Yeah.
for years and years. I mean, generations even.
Yeah.
You know,
I
but
mean, it's been a long time since Pete Carroll was out there. you know.
yeah, right. it's
We were talking about Tebow yesterday with Florida. I mean, but it's been a long time since Pete Carroll was there.
exactly. I mean,
He's gone on and won like multiple Super Bowls and everything.
you're right. Exactly. It's been so long. I mean, hell, when Pete Carroll and when USC was winning national titles, my son was born, and now he's about to be 14 years old. So I mean, that's I mean, I've gotten a
Right,
teenager since the last time
right.
USC was relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So
bad. That's pretty bad.
so yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Utah is the champion, in the South, and Washington the champion in the North, and uh, I think they meet up again in the Pac-12 championship game, and I think this time Utah wins it again.
Again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Utah Utes, man, they've been building a lot of momentum ever since they got into that conference. You
Yes,
know, because Russ, they were in the Mountain West Conference before.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they, it
Now,
seemed like
now
they
they're
got
now they're
stronger,
owning the Pac-12.
right? Which is unbelievable to say, by the way. It's
Right.
unbelievable I can't even, like, wow, it's amazing.
Right.
Yes, but they're owning that conference. They're dominating the conference, which is, it
Right.
doesn't say much about the conference as a whole. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. It
Right.
doesn't.
So that's where I'll go with that, Russ. How about you? What do you got?
I mean, I'm not far off from that. The North has me is the only no brainer. Is the only thing you have to think about on that one a little bit, just a little bit.
Right. True.
The South is pretty much a no brainer. It's Utah. I mean, guaranteed. I got Utah in the South as well. We talked about some of that yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, and in the Pac-12 North, Oregon is the only challenge I think to Washington there.
Yeah.
I don't think I think Stanford's getting a little bit better, but I don't think they're ready to compete with those two. So Oregon has a chance to compete. But I'm gonna have to go. It's a wash. I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one, and I got Washington again. And I also got the same results again. I think Utah beats them again
Right.
in the Pac-12 championship.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that pretty much settles that. We're both in agreement on the
The
Pac-12.
Pac-12. Yeah,
So Utah's coming out of that conference.
yeah.
I guess let's go ahead and go down to the Big 12. Since we're doing 12s, so we might as well go down Big 12.
Okay.
And you go ahead and do the honors. What do you think about that conference?
The Big 12. Let's see. This is an interesting one, but it's still not difficult to pick.
Hmm.
It To me, it comes down to two teams. It's between Oklahoma and Texas.
True. True.
And well, we all know what my picks were yesterday for the playoffs.
Right.
So
But let me ask you this, Russ.
yes.
Is there a team in that conference that could come up and surprise people? Is there one? What do you think? Is there, maybe
Like
somebody like,
a sleeper team.
yeah, maybe like like a Oklahoma State, or maybe a Texas Tech, something, a team like that can come up and kind of, muck things up a little bit in that conference.
Um, Not really to me, but I don't know. Maybe I don't think so. No, I think it really is a top heavy conference at this time.
Yeah,
I think it's between Oklahoma and Texas, and I see Texas as my sleeper in that conference. You know,
absolutely. I completely agree with you on that.
yeah. I mean, we know what Oklahoma is. Texas
Right,
is the up and coming team, and
right.
I would say they're my sleeper, but I still got to go with Oklahoma as the conference champion.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're going Oklahoma. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I got Oklahoma Big 12.
got you. Okay. Well, I agree with you on the two teams that's going to be, I guess, ascending to that, or staying on the top of that conference. However, I will disagree with you on the conference champion. I think the conference champion will be the Texas Longhorns. I truly believe that. I think,
I figured that from what we discussed yesterday.
yeah, exactly. Oklahoma will take a step back slightly today. They'll still be competitive and good, but I think Texas takes a step up this year and
I agree.
unseats them
I
and beats them.
I agree they will take a step up. I just don't think they'll unseat them this year.
Okay. Well,
But
yeah,
but it's not a far fetched pick. It's not like I'm gonna you know bet the house on going against that pick because like I
I,
said, Texas is gonna be a much better, much more improved team this year.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, that takes care of the Pac-12 and the
Big 12.
Big 12. So
Where we going next?
well, let's move over to to the ACC to the ACC.
All
Um,
right.
you know, I mean, first of all, we, we already know what the ACC is really. The king of the ACC is obviously Clemson Tigers.
Right.
Um, they're going to win that division going away. Nobody's going to come even close to beating them. Um,
Right.
if somebody put a gun to my head and say pick a team that could surprise in the ACC, um, first of all, it'll be a very tough decision to make, but
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I would have to say maybe Virginia Tech, maybe,
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I
but
think I would go with VTech too.
yeah,
But
maybe,
but
but
I just don't see them. Oh wait, you mean in all of the ACC, or you're just talking about in the Atlantic?
in no in all of it, in all of it,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
So you're picking a team from the Coastal to see who would even be able to compete with Clemson in the finals in the
exactly, right,
championship. Got you.
correct.
Nobody.
So nobody, right? Pretty much nobody. I mean, Clemson is the cream of the crop. I mean, hell, they're in my opinion, they're the best team in the country. If I was to pick one, but
Yes.
um, so, but I,
Well, we
yeah,
we we both agreed with that yesterday.
yeah,
That
absolutely,
that they are the best. They should be ranked one. I mean, at this
exactly,
time.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, Miami, I don't. Miami's not doing anything this year. I mean, matter of fact, Miami got one of our quarterbacks from last year.
Right.
From Ohio State as they're trying to figure that quarterback room out. I don't know how they're going to do that, but um, Miami, Miami's like, are they finished? Are they done? I mean, because we haven't heard. Miami's like USC.
Yeah. They've been missing in action. They're on the milk carton for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're what we would call, you know, in the witness protection program because
Right.
we don't know where they're at.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah, I don't know where the U is, man. It should be the N because they're nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Flip that U upside down, you make it to an N. It's I mean it's yeah it's Miami's got some issues right now.
Yeah.
Manny
So who?
Diaz is their head coach now. He was the defensive coordinator. He's their head coach.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know, Russ. I'm not on I'm not on the bandwagon on that one. But I would just go. I don't. There's a team from the Atlantic. I, Clemson's going to win that conference. Bottom line.
Yeah. I mean, there's no competition there. No, I
Yeah,
mean,
there's
none.
none. There
None.
is none.
There's really none in the entire ACC for Clemson.
Yeah, there really
But
isn't. I mean,
but
you know,
I mean, yeah. So who you picking in the Coastal? Out of the Coastal?
I'm gonna pick Boston College.
Are you serious? No. The Coastal
The Coast. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
for the championship.
for the gym.
Because we know Clemson's gonna take the Atlantic.
Right. Oh
Mi-
man.
Miami, Georgia Tech, Virginia, UNC, Pittsburgh Tech, Virginia Tech. I mean, or Duke.
I'll take Tech. I'll take Tech.
Yeah,
Take Tech.
Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah, the Virginia Tech is going to be the sacrificial lamb. You know.
Right for the championship.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think this one's simple. Everything you said was right on. I agree. I don't disagree too much, at all with that.
Right.
And definitely, I know Clemson's going to take the Atlantic, and I think Virginia Tech will, win the Coastal by default.
Yeah.
And get slaughtered in the conference championship.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, they'll get absolutely blasted.
Yeah.
I guess let's move forward, man, because those three
Yeah.
conferences that we just covered are pretty much cut and dry. You know what I mean? It was pretty much
Pretty
easy
yeah, pretty much.
to come up with a winner out of those conferences. Now
Now we're down to two more.
two more.
So we're gonna
Are
go
you?
Big Ten next.
Um, yeah. Let's go to the Big Ten. Let's go to the Big Ten.
Yeah, since we're going least to greatest.
Oh man, you know what? You know what? Touche, man. Touche. You caught me off guard with that one. All right, good. Touche. Touche. Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Do the honors for the least to best. So, since Ohio State's one of the least, we're gonna go ahead and let
Okay. Okay.
go ahead and break that one down.
All right. So Big Ten West, Big Ten East. I'll start with the Big Ten West.
Okay.
Um, it's gonna be between Wisconsin and Nebraska. Um, but I think I'm gonna go with Wisconsin to win the Big Ten West.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah, I like their running game, and I really like the kid Jonathan Taylor. Behind that Wisconsin line, and it's tough though picking against Nebraska because Nebraska is gonna be tough too there, and I can't really sleep on I think Iowa also. You know,
Right.
Iowa is
Right. The
another
Hawk.
team. It's another team that I can't just wash it, just rub out. But
Yeah.
um,
I remember Russ yesterday. When we were breaking down Iowa in the top 25. I was I was got a quarterback, Russ. They got
yeah,
a guy who they know
yes,
can trust.
Nate Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing I mean I love about them is that they've got three running backs. They've got a 1-2-3 punch
Yeah,
at the
man.
at the in the
Yeah.
backfield behind him. So it's
Exactly.
like if one guy goes down, they're not gonna lose out in the
Yeah, it's not
backfield.
going to be a huge drop off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right
But
about
defense, I think that they're really top heavy on defense. And when I mean top heavy, I mean it's like they've got one player,
that. Right.
and that's
Uh,
AJ. Yeah,
Epinesa, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So and that's why I'm not picking Iowa. I'm gonna go with Wisconsin. I think the run game will be enough for them.
Okay.
You know, I think there'll be a little bit more of a balanced team as well.
Right.
You know,
Right. Okay. Well, I mean,
so
I definitely agree with you on that. I believe I'm with you on that. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
listening.
so yeah, I got Wisconsin in the Big Ten West.
Okay.
Now we're gonna go to the Big Ten East,
Be careful now.
and yeah, I know. So I've definitely hands down got Maryland winning the Big Ten East.
No, wait a minute. I know you joking. Now I know. I'm not even
No,
gonna
no.
suggest that, Maryland.
They're gonna
That was
pull off
funny.
some upsets, knock off Ohio State and Michigan, and shock the world this year. Yeah, and they'll beat Penn State.
Okay. So they're gonna run the whole gamut.
Yeah,
Okay, they're
yeah,
gonna
they're
beat
gonna
Penn
run the gamut in the Big Ten East this year. It's Maryland all the way. Nah, but no, I mean
in all
let's get
seriousness.
serious. Yeah, yeah. In all seriousness, I definitely got Ohio State winning the Big Ten East. Like I said,
Okay.
I don't think Michigan's gonna beat them. I think Ohio State will prevail, and I think that Ohio State will lose to Wisconsin
Mm,
in the Big Ten championship.
mm. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. and that's what keeps them out the playoffs.
Ooh, okay.
And you
Man,
see, in Ohio State's going to be ranked higher than Wisconsin by the championship game, and
okay.
Wisconsin will beat them, and that'll keep Ohio State out of the playoffs,
Out of the playoff. I got
out of the playoffs, and that's what's going to keep Georgia in the playoffs because they're going to have a close conference SEC conference championship game against Alabama. They're going to play well enough where it doesn't make them drop.
got you.
And that's how I see it happening. That's Rustadamus for all you out there listening. You know,
Rust.
so also known as the AKA the Prophet. Um,
Oh, profit now. Oh my God. Wow.
so yeah,
Medically. Okay. All right.
yeah. So I got Wisconsin upsetting Ohio State in the Big Ten conference championship.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm 50-50 with you on this one, Russ. In the Big,
I
go ahead
wonder
and break
which
down the Big
50.
Ten West. Yeah, you're right. I'll go ahead and break down the Big Ten West. The Big Ten West, I do agree with you. I believe Wisconsin Badgers will win that conference. I mean that division. However, I think two teams will give them a little bit of issues. Um, Number one, Iowa, like we discussed.
Right.
Iowa might give them some problems. Now, actually, you know what? I'm gonna name three teams. I'm gonna
Okay.
go ahead and say the University of Minnesota might give them some issues as well.
Okay.
Um, I think PJ Fleck is an underrated head coach. I love his coaching style. He's very excellent motivator. Um, Minnesota has recruited well in the past couple of years, so they got a couple of running backs coming out. They got Tyler Johnson, their wide receiver. He's still coming back. So I will go with Minnesota, not beating Wisconsin, but scaring that what out of them.
Right.
Uh, the other team I would look out for, other than Iowa, which we already discussed,
Right.
is Purdue. I think the Boilermakers can scare people offensively. Their offense is potent. I don't know if I'm not positive if David Blau is coming back, their quarterback who was lighting it up last year. But if he is back, that is a dangerous team in that division because they can score. And man, they have one of my Heisman Trophy candidates, cat named Rondale Moore.
Okay. We'll
Yeah,
save that for when we get to
yeah,
the Heisman. But okay.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But okay, so Wisconsin's winning the West, but they will be threatened pretty good with between Minnesota, Iowa, and Purdue. Um, Over to the East.
You got Michigan.
Yeah, I got Michigan. Yeah, you're right. No, I got Ohio State winning that division.
Okay.
With the Buckeyes, their defense is going to be stout this year. They bring back, you know, they bringing back 42% of their starters, which is really good considering they're the cream of the crop in that conference. So
Right.
um, they're bringing back. I mean, you got Chase Young, you got Davon Hamilton, you got Teron Vincent, you got Robert Landers, you got Jordan. I mean, I can a bunch of guys who's going to be playing in the pros in the next year or two. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Jeff Okuda. So the only thing obviously we were talking about yesterday is Justin Fields. Um, I'm on the fence with him because I don't know him as much. So we'll see. It's I guess a wait and see type of thing with him. But
I see. I really don't. Like I said, sorry to interrupt you, but
no, good.
I like I said yesterday about Ohio State, the fact that I do believe that they're still going to stay similar with the style of play that they've had,
Right.
going for years and years now. And that's if that's the case, you don't need a traditional quarterback to run that Ohio State offense. And in
I,
fact, I think Justin Fields fits perfectly with
yeah.
that offense because he's more of a running quarterback. He's mobile. He's gonna keep the chains moving, and also the style of play makes it easier. A lot of times you're throwing to wide open guys, so he doesn't have to put it through a window. Put it in a window.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what? You're right because if you think about it, Russ, last year was sort of a like a different almost like a sidestep from what Urban Meyer's usually used to do. Urban Meyer, I mean,
because of Haskins.
because of bingo, because of Haskins. Haskins was a traditional back, drop back quarterback, stand in the pocket and pick you apart.
Right.
Now, the years before that, JT Barrett was what
You got
Justin
wide receivers and running backs playing quarterback.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, I mean, so I agree with you on that with the Justin Fields thing. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State, they've got J.K. Dobbins coming back. You know, they've got some young talent at wide receiver. Garrett
Yes.
Wilson, true freshman, he's gonna light it up. Uh, Chris Olave, I mean,
Yeah.
Austin Mack, they got some nice wideouts, man. So I
Definitely.
got them
Definitely.
winning. Yeah, I got them winning that division. Of course, we know Michigan's going to threaten them. Michigan's going to, come out there and play their hardest and their best to beat
But
Ohio State, Michigan.
yeah.
But I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Jim Harbaugh. This is, I think Jim Harbaugh is hanging on a thread right now, and I think whenever they play Ohio State, Ryan Day, the head coach for Ohio State, is going to take that scissor and cut that thread, and Jim Harbaugh is going to be drowning in hot water. Um, So yeah, I think this will be the end for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Um, Penn State will be an annoying team. Every now and then
Yeah.
too. They,
Right.
uh, I tell you, I tell you one team that might scare Ohio State pretty good is Michigan State. Michigan State's defense is loaded. Kenny Willikers, their all world defensive end, is coming back. They
Right.
got some excellent corners coming back. They're just their defensive team. Defensively, they're probably one of the top two or three best defenses in the country. When it
Right.
comes down to just playmaking ability. So Michigan State's going to threaten. Penn State's going to threaten. Michigan's going to try their hardest to unseat Ohio State, but I don't think it's going to happen. So Ohio State wins that division and
Right.
plays Wisconsin in the title game, and Ohio State beats Wisconsin again for the third time in 4 years. So Ohio State ends up in the playoffs off of that.
Okay.
That's not going.
I hear you.
So yeah,
All
that's the
right.
conferences. I mean,
So
that was pretty easy to break down. I mean,
yeah.
the first three conferences we did were pretty self-explanatory.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I
This
mean?
is the first one that we differed slightly.
Right, right. Now
Now let's move
let's
on
go to
to the
your
cream of
conference.
the crop.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
the
So
creme
so
the creme de la creme.
the creme de la creme. Okay, we'll see. Creme de la creme. Okay, okay. Okay. Then
the re-
it's
let's
so
get to
good.
the let's get to
Spanish.
real
Now, huh?
football now.
Oh, okay. It's oh my god. Oh my lord. Okay. Well, all right. Real football. Go ahead and break it down for me, baby.
All
Lost the drop.
right. All right. All right. The prophet.
Yeah, Russell John the prophet.
Yeah.
You sound like a rapper now. Go ahead. Go ahead, Russell John the prophet.
All right. So let's start in the SEC East.
Okay.
Um there's plenty of good teams, but of course, obviously from my picks yesterday, for those who were listening, they know I'm gonna go with Georgia in
Right.
the SEC East.
Okay.
Um to win that division. And they'll have some challenges with Missouri, but I just think Georgia is just a loaded team, and they're just balanced. They just got to put it all together this year, and I believe they will. And also Florida, Florida's gonna challenge as well. But I just think Georgia wins the SEC East from everything I said yesterday about them. Um, I think I like Fromm coming back.
Right.
Um, You said it all about DeAndre Swift yesterday.
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to run the ball. I think they're going to be able to move the ball through the air. I think their defense will be strong as well.
Russ,
Um,
quick question: do they still have Elijah Holyfield? Is there? Remember he was getting some burn when DeAndre Swift was out. Remember?
um,
Is he did he get did he move on or is he still there? I tend to forget.
Hold up. I think he moved on.
Oh,
if I'm
was in
thinking
NFL?
right, because behind Swift is Brian Harrion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he probably.
he's the backup to Swift, and he's a senior.
Oh,
So they'll have a good punch there. Um, I like that they have the Charlie Warner, the tight end. He's very good. I mentioned him yesterday.
yeah,
They
yeah.
have a really good offensive line. In fact, they might. I really believe they have the best two tackles, offensive tackles in college football coming into
Okay.
the season with Thomas and Wilson,
Right.
Andrew Thomas and what's his name, Isaiah Wilson.
Hey, Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they not only that, they're pretty tight on the interior of that line. And I'm big on the line. Solomon Kinley, he's coming into his junior year, and he's actually a 4 year. This is his fourth year. He's a 4 year junior.
Yeah.
So he redshirted, and he's going to be a left guard. So I'm just saying, DeAndre Swift is going to have a really good season, and Fromm is going to really have a good season because he's going to be well protected, and they're going to have an explosive offense, and I think they'll have a really good defense as well. You know, from I think that what's the guy? You know, you got Herring, you got Devontae Wyatt on
Mhm.
defense on the D line for them. These guys will have a good season, I believe. Not to mention Big Boy in the middle. What's his name? Jordan Davis.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, they're stacked, man. When I say they're stacked,
They
they're
are.
really stacked. And I wanted to, today to just to since because I knew we would get to talking about Georgia again. I wanted to just reiterate some of the names, some of the players, and why I feel that they're stacked. I mean, and these are just the starters I'm mentioning. They're really a good team, and I just feel they'll put it together this year, and they're definitely going to win that division. You know,
Do you think Florida can possibly upset them or no?
no, I mean, it's
Okay.
possible, but it's possible if Georgia does what they've done in previous years. If they don't take it as if they don't rise to the occasion, I would say. But it's Georgia's to lose. Not even like that Florida's gonna beat them or anybody else. Missouri or whoever.
Hmm.
Kentucky, Florida, or South Carolina, any of them. None of them's going to beat them unless Georgia beats themselves. I think Georgia beats themselves if that's the case,
Okay.
because that's just how talented that team is. They have no business losing to those guys. And
I
Florida and Missouri are good teams to me.
Right.
They're quality teams, but I don't feel that they have as talented as Georgia is. I don't feel they should lose to those guys,
Right.
in my opinion.
Right. Hmm.
So
All
I
right.
got them winning the SEC East. Um, now we'll move on to the West,
All right.
and where there's some really tough teams in this West. With LSU, Texas A&M,
Yeah.
I mean Auburn,
Yeah.
Alabama. I hadn't even mentioned Alabama yet.
Right.
So that the I think the SEC West is always top heavy. I mean not top heavy, but deep. You
Hmm.
know, compared to the East, even though the East has some solid teams as well.
Right.
But everybody knows I'm picking Alabama though to win the SEC West.
Right.
And that'll make Alabama versus Georgia. And I already said yesterday my playoff pick, Alabama will win the SEC again. They will be the conference champions
All
and
right.
head into the playoffs. They'll beat Georgia in a very highly contested game, but Georgia's going to make that push when it comes to the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs, and because of that, there's going to be controversy. Some people are going to complain, why is Georgia still in there? Because they lost to Alabama. But the thing that's going to keep them in there is because of how they play against Alabama, who possibly could be undefeated, could have
Right.
an undefeated season this year, you know.
Right.
And I think they will beat Alabama in the first round of the playoffs. Two versus three. They will
Hmm.
beat Alabama because that first game is going to be so close. It's tough to beat the same team twice unless you're
Right.
blowing them out, unless you're just destroying them in that first game. And then, you know, that's different. But a close game, that doesn't mean you're going to guarantee beat this team again. And they're
Right.
just as talented as Alabama, in my opinion. But I also think LSU is just as talented as both of those teams,
Right.
But I think that LSU will be even more dangerous next year. But we're going with this season. So I got Alabama and Georgia in the finals, but Alabama will win the conference.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, I mean, I can't argue with you too much on that because I believe the same thing. I believe Alabama will win that division, um, and they'll end up winning the conference also. Actually, no, let me take that back. Texas A&M is going to win that
Oh, I
conference.
was about to say, what happened to? Oh, so they're gonna beat Alabama,
Yeah, they're going to beat Alabama.
but Alabama still
In,
makes
No, and Alabama still makes the
playoffs,
playoffs, but
which is not a shocker. That's not a
but,
shocker.
but Texas A&M will beat them.
Okay,
Yes, it will.
and then who wins in the conference championship?
Um, Texas A&M wins in the conference championship. They beat
Yeah,
Georgia. They blow out Georgia.
they blow out Georgia. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes, and they'll narrowly beat Alabama, so Alabama will still be highly ranked, and you know Alabama. I guess also it depends on when they play Alabama too. I'm not sure if it's early or late.
Right,
Um, so that remains. Yeah, I gotta look at that. But all right, so let me do this. Let me go in the East first. The SEC East, Georgia. Um, Georgia's gonna win that conference. I mean that
right,
division.
right.
All right. Florida is going to give Georgia all they can handle when they meet them in the world's greatest cocktail party or whatever they call that thing.
Right.
Uh, you know, George. Russ. I think I said this before. I'm not a huge believer in Georgia's. I know they have all the world talent, all world talent. I know they do,
Right.
but for some reason they just when those huge big games come around, man, they never can just get over that hump. They really, I mean, they really can't. I
It's a
mean,
new year.
I I know, man, but look, even when they remember when they played in the semifinal game when they played Oklahoma, right?
Yes.
They barely won that game. I mean, Oklahoma shredded that defense that
Right.
was highly ranked. You
Right.
know, I mean, I know they had Baker
But
Mayfield.
Oklahoma has we know their offense is ridiculous.
Right, right. But I'm gonna go with Georgia winning that division. I'm going with Texas A&M uh, winning the West,
Right.
and I think LSU is gonna stay where they're at. They're gonna be LSU, and they're gonna underachieve again. Um, so it'll be Texas A&M and Georgia for the SEC title game, and and Texas A&M will beat Georgia in the SEC title game, probably by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some prediction.
It is, isn't it?
Right. It is.
You're probably thinking, oh, is he got a like a vodka bottle next to him right now?
Or in the trash already.
Right. No,
But
for the record, no, I don't. I truly believe that. That's
it's
my
gin. It's not vodka. It's gin. 'Cause what the world is going on? All right, but no, I mean it's really not. I'm joking, but it's really not far fetched, because we both agreed. I agreed also that Texas A&M is a sleeper team,
Right.
in that conference. So, but wow, they're gonna really have to rise to the occasion, and
Yeah.
I think I see Georgia rising to the occasion before that team.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, we don't always agree anyway, so
right,
that
right,
makes this fun. You know what I mean? That's what makes it fun.
exactly, exactly.
And that's what makes you. You think I'm sitting here sipping on gin straight, no chaser.
Right.
But I'm making my prediction, and that's what I'm sticking. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
So
what's up?
that's a wrap on the conference champions and winners and losers in the conference champions. So
Are we gonna do a Heisman now?
yeah, let's do the Heisman. Let's run through the Heisman real quick.
So are we just picking one? Or are we just picking? Are we picking
I'm
actually
picking
our finalists?
we're picking the finalists. We're picking. I've got five that I
Okay,
know.
I've got five also.
Yeah, I've got
Okay,
five finalists that I,
yeah,
that
me too.
I think is going to be you know just throughout the whole college football season. I think those five names that I'm going to name are always going to be in those talks of Heisman Trophy. You know
Got
what I
you.
mean?
Right.
So I'll go ahead and
Yeah, you go
start.
ahead and start.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start off right away with like I was telling earlier about the kid out of Purdue, Rondale Moore. I mean, the kid is electric, man. He's a wide receiver, but he plays punt returner and kick
Hmm.
returner, and he can play running back out of the backfield. He can play the
Right.
slot. He can play out wide. He's tough as nails. He's fast and he's fast. He's so fast and so quick. He's quick. He's quick and fast.
Wide
Some guys,
receiver, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's quick and fast. He's not. Some guys are just fast. Some guys are just quick. But this guy's got it all, man. So
Right. Right.
Rondale Moore from Purdue, I'm looking at him as one of my, you know, Heisman Trophy candidates slash sleeper.
Right.
Uh,
A lot of people, I don't mean to stop, but a lot of people don't realize the difference, especially when it comes to football, between quick and fast. But I understand exactly what you mean on that. On
exactly.
that, yeah, a lot of people don't get that, but it's a difference.
There is a difference. Absolutely.
There's
Um,
football speed and there's track speed too.
track speed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And yeah, and he has both, man. So yeah, he's one of them. The other one is Justin Herbert. You know, out of Oregon, the quarterback. I mean, the kid,
Yes.
he fits the bill, man. He's tall. He's about 6'4", maybe about 220 pounds. He's gonna put on a little bit more weight. Who knows? He'll probably show up in fall camp around 230. But he's
Right.
very active. He's very mobile. He can, he's smart. He's a good. He can read defenses. Throws with very good anticipation, which I love. Most quarterbacks, that have strong arms usually don't like for example, I'll give you a quick example. Jamarcus Russell. Everybody was
Right.
raving about Jamarcus Russell's arm strength. Oh my God, he can sit on his butt cheek from the 100-yard line and throw
Right.
it.
Right.
I mean, come on. That's I
You
mean,
see it.
we're all
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying we saw where that got him. His strong arm sitting on one butt cheek and throwing it through the uprights. I mean,
Yeah. I agree 100%.
you know.
And
So
I think we grew up watching a guy, Joe Montana,
yes.
who definitely didn't have one of the strongest arms. Not even one of the big. He's kind of a small guy,
Yeah.
and definitely didn't have one of the strongest arms. So for me, he diffused all of that talk about strong arm, because you could
Yes.
have the strongest arm and no accuracy, and it doesn't mean anything. You
Yeah.
know, I don't think Brady has the strongest arm either.
No, he doesn't.
He
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 doesn't.
does he doesn't have a weak arm. He's not as he has a much stronger arm than Montana because of his size. He's way bigger than what Montana was,
Right.
but he's not known for the strong arm.
Wrong.
He's known
Right.
for accuracy. You know,
Exactly.
just being accurate. That's more
Accurate.
important than
That's
than
way
how
more important.
far you can throw the ball down the field.
Exactly. So Russ, I'm telling you, man, when I hear some of these so-called pundits talking about, oh my God, his arm strength, it just burns me up inside because I'm
Me
thinking,
too.
what does that mean? What in the
Right.
world does that mean? Drew
Right.
Henson had a strong arm.
Had a very
What the heck
strong arm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hell, Jim Druckenmiller, remember him from Virginia Tech? He had a
Yes.
strong. He was benching 600 pounds at one time with the offensive lineman working
You
out with
know
him. Oh yeah, where is he
that
at? Exactly.
that's why they all love Jeff George.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Look,
know,
look
even though Jeff
exactly,
George could put it together once in a while, but he was so inconsistent because
exactly.
his main thing was the strong arm.
Strong arm, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
but you got to be able
yeah,
to throw intermediate. I mean,
exactly. It's all about accuracy and throwing with anticipation. That's what it's about.
exactly,
If you throw in accuracy and anticipation, I don't give a damn how strong your arm is. If you
right,
can't, if you can't hit the broadside of a barn, what good are you? You know.
exactly.
So
Now,
yeah,
now Peyton
that,
Manning,
yeah,
Peyton Manning had a very strong arm, but he also was pretty
had
accurate. Yeah,
yeah,
he had accuracy.
yeah,
Even though it goes down in pressure situations. That was his
yeah,
only knock for me. His
right.
only knock
And me too, me
was in
too.
pressure situations. That accuracy goes away, and he's not doing the Omaha no more.
Yeah,
He's looking like a deer in the headlights.
headlights,
Um,
absolutely.
but I always marveled at the fact that to show you how accurate Peyton Manning was. I know we're getting a little bit off, but we still talking football.
Yeah, exactly.
But Peyton Manning, his accuracy, I always marveled the fact that he could throw to a guy like Marvin Harrison, who's like 5'7.5". And Peyton throwing down, that shows how accurate this guy could throw. You know,
Exactly.
that's
And
not
you
the
know
easiest thing to do.
exactly. And Russ, same thing with Brady. Brady's throwing to what's the name? What's the guy name that
You
actually
talking
played
about
with the Manning? Wes
oh,
Welker.
you talking
Wes
about Wes
Welker was
Walker?
like five
Yes.
six, 5'7".
Right, right.
You know
That's
what I
not
mean?
the easiest thing to do. You
Exactly.
you you have to be a pretty accurate quarterback to do. It's easier to be a shorter quarterback and throwing to a bigger receiver
Going
than
up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah
Your
than than
trajectory's
than
going up easier that way.
yeah.
Exactly.
But to throw down and be accurate like that, I was always impressed by that with Peyton. You know.
Exactly. So yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, and that's the thing with Justin Herbert. Going back to Justin Herbert, he throws it with anticipation. He's accurate. You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, that's my one. That's one of my Heisman Trophy candidates. Absolutely. The other one, obviously, to me, is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. He's another. To me, him and Justin Herbert are almost a similar type of style of guys because they're tall. They got really
Yes.
strong arms, but they throw with excellent anticipation.
Right.
Which separates them from some guys like like Tua. To me, all right. I don't know how you feel about Tua. I keep messing his damn name up. I don't know how you feel about Tua, but I mean Tua's good, but I think sometimes Tua's accuracy can be off a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Trevor Lawrence is the other one, man. I mean, need I say more? The kid's. I mean, he's poised. He's accurate. He's got a strong arm. He's mobile. He's tough. I mean, him, Justin Herbert, probably the front runners right now. The other person I'm going to is Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. Um,
Okay.
just a
Okay.
rugged, yeah, just a rugged running back, man. He got game breaking speed with all that size and power. Um, he's a 1,500 yard back waiting to happen at any
Yeah.
given time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's almost guaranteed 1,500 yards and like 10, 12 touchdowns. So
He's
he's
gonna
the up.
lead with yeah, he's gonna lead Wisconsin to that Big Ten championship
Yeah, I believe so too.
and
Yeah. So
and 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 win it.
oh yeah. Well, here you go. You've been catching me off guard lately today. All right, sneaking it in a little bit.
Hey, I'm on my prophet, my prophetic.
Oh yeah, your prophetic rampage. Okay, I got your prophetic rampage. That's pretty. That's cute. That's cute. All right, I like that. All right, so yeah, Jonathan Taylor's the other one, number four right there, coming in at number four. And lastly, man, this is I guess this is coming out of left field. You know, I'm gonna go with what's the guy's name, man? From he's from that he's from the what conference? He's from the SEC. I'm sorry, man. Jake, Jake Fromm. Yeah, I
Oh, okay. Okay. From the national
from the
champion
Georgia.
Bulldogs.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Jake
future
Fromm.
national champion Bulldogs.
Yeah, Jake Fromm. And you notice, Russ. Every time I think about the SEC or I try to save the SEC, I try to speak about them. I get my brain gets flooded with all kinds of different delusional thoughts. But but
You
yeah,
said it. You said it.
yeah. But I'm just saying that the SEC makes you do stuff like that. As if so the
Potent.
overratedness of the SEC is overwhelming. Um,
Oh my goodness.
so yeah, I'll go with Jake Fromm, Justin Herbert, uh, Trevor Lawrence, Jonathan Taylor, and Rondale Moore as my five
And who's
Heisman.
winning it?
Um, wow. You know what? I'll go with. Wow, that's a good question. I'm gonna say it's between Herbert and Lawrence, and I'll say Lawrence wins it.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence wins it.
All right.
What say you?
So so run down your five again. You got
Trevor Lawrence, Justin
right.
Herbert,
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor,
Okay.
Fromm, and Rondale Moore.
Rondell Moore. Okay. All right. So my five for Heisman, my five finalists. I'm gonna go with one of the ones you picked, Jonathan Taylor,
Okay.
because I believe Wisconsin is gonna win the Big Ten, and I think they're gonna do it with the run game. Like I said when we were doing the conference predictions,
All
and
right.
I mentioned Jonathan Taylor. Is a kid I really like running the
All
ball.
right.
And I want to say this: if you look at the Heisman, it generally goes to a quarterback or a running back,
Correct.
and mostly quarterbacks.
True.
So, but Taylor, I don't think he'll win it, but I think he's going to be in the running because he's going to have a great year.
Okay.
Um, and next, I would go with the future national champions running back, DeAndre Swift.
Ooh. Oh, nice one.
Yes,
Nice one.
DeAndre
Nice.
Swift also, I think, will be in the running because I think he's going to really have a big year running behind that Georgia Bulldog line. And and that'll help one of your picks, Fromm. But I don't. I think Fromm is just outside of my list at this time. But I wouldn't be surprised. He's a candidate.
Okay,
Um,
Nostradamus the prophet.
Rustradamus.
Nostradamus. I'm sorry. My bad.
Right. But so I got Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, DeAndre Swift from Georgia,
All right.
and next I got Jalen Hurts with
Ooh.
with with Oklahoma. I really think that he's going to have a big year. Coming leaving Alabama. You
Hmm.
know, and like I said yesterday, he's going to be more relaxed. And he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove,
Right.
and he's got a powerhouse offense to lead. It's not like it's just all on him. He's got a powerhouse offense to lead, and I think he's going to have a really good year.
Oh,
A really good year. And I think a lot of times when you have a guy a quarterback needs confidence coming from his coaches. You know, and
right.
obviously there was a there was a short leash there in Alabama. And I'm a big Nick Saban guy, but I'm not saying he made a mistake because he went. Hey, that's what makes them Alabama. They're gonna push you, and there's gonna be pressure.
Yeah.
And he went with Tua. Like I said at halftime, this kid lost his job, and I think that still probably doesn't sit quite right with him. Not saying he's bitter, but I'm sure just there's a chip on his shoulder. So I like Hurts being in the running. Also, I think Tua again will be in the running for Heisman, especially if Alabama completes that undefeated season.
Right. All right.
Going into the playoffs and then losing to Georgia.
All right. Oh, so you
Um,
wow. I mean, I mean, you are on a rampage with these certain predictions. Okay,
Hey, when the prophetic wave hits you, you know what I mean. You just got to go with it. And so those are my four. And then I got Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, and he's gonna win the Heisman. He's gonna be the Heisman winner.
oh my goodness.
And
So wait, you agree with me on that?
yes, yes, I agree. I've had Trevor Lawrence as my Heisman guy. You know, it was really just picking the other guys around him who was gonna be finalists with him. I really like that kid. That kid is nasty. I love his poise, his confidence, his
Yeah,
demeanor in the
yeah,
pocket. You know, his accuracy, and
yeah.
and the way he can dissect the defense. You know, in college. So
Yes,
I
absolutely.
I I love how he plays, and he's got the size. He looks the part. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Yeah.
reminds me of Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The only thing he needs to do for Russ, I'm not gonna lie, cut that damn long mullet you got going. Cut it off,
Hey
Trevor.
man,
Come on.
that's the sunshine. That's the sunshine right
I mean, I know, but I mean, come, dude. I mean,
there.
you're in Division 1 college. You're at a big university. You know what I mean. Your face is all over the. You look like you're when you take off your helmet, you're about to hit the Malibu beaches and get a surf going on. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ, Trevor. I mean, really, cut that mess off and look like a pro, man. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Wow.
I'm already critiquing him for the NFL, isn't I?
Right, right. Wow. That was kind of Skip Bayless esque.
Actually, sure was. Yeah, you're right.
he
It was kind
just
of like that.
he just trashed his haircut, but um he does look like he's out of the '80s, but hey, he's balling. But
Right.
so yeah, that's my pick. I got Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa. I just ruined his name.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, and Jonathan Taylor. So I got
good,
two running
good.
backs and three quarterbacks.
200 back, three quarterback. Okay, well that's similar to me, but I just got one receiver. Uh, I like all your picks, man. You can't go wrong with either one of them. I mean, really,
Yeah,
Tua can very well have a fantastic season.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, exactly. I just see it
so
hard if they go undefeated. I mean, how can he not be?
yeah. But you know what, Russ? A quick note on Tua. If he his health, staying healthy has been a little bit of an issue for him.
Right. That's
You know,
true. That's true.
so we don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, if he stays healthy, I mean, and he has just a bomb of a season. I mean, I I I can surely see him winning the Heisman Trophy. So yeah,
Right.
I
Right.
mean, I agree, man. I agree with all of them. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, hell, you know how I feel about DeAndre Swift. I think the kid's a beast.
Right.
So but, yeah, man. So yeah, I agree with you. Those are really good picks for Heisman. Real good candidates. So I guess that just since we covered that and broke that down pretty well, that leaves our third and final segment
Discussion.
coming up. Yeah, discussion segment, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna settle this debate once
Big.
and for all between you and
I,
I.
I, I mean, let's just clear it up for the fans. Big Ten versus the SEC. I mean, we know who you're going with. We know who I'm going with.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, pretty
You know,
much, pretty much, pretty much.
the lines are drawn in the sand.
Yes. Um, I'll tell you what. You go ahead and make your argument, and I'll give you a rebuttal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, can we? If you look at the SEC, I mean, when we just did the top five, you know, the big five, and we picked our conference champions, it was pretty easy to pick the Big Ten. In the East, you just got Ohio State and Michigan. Um, you know, that's who you're discussing there. If you go to the Big Ten West, you got Wisconsin. You got a few more teams, little bit more teams. Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, all decent teams. I'm not here to bash the Big Ten or nothing like that. They're solid, but when you start talking about being better than the SEC, then I have to stop there. And it's they're not as deep as the SEC.
Oh,
And I
okay.
and I
Well,
and I mean let me
go
just
ahead. Go
finish
ahead.
let me
Go
make
ahead.
my argument because I think that the SEC has proven themselves. I mean, for years and years now. It's like the ACC in college basketball.
Okay.
They've well proven themselves as the best conference. Now, where I think a lot of this argument started, because this argument only started, it was big last in 2018, coming into the 2018 season. Everybody was talking about how is the SEC still the top conference, and they were saying Big Ten now is taking over. Has the Big Ten surpassed the SEC?
Uh-huh.
Well, my answer to that is uh, an astounding
No.
no.
No. Okay.
Yeah, an astounding no. And I'm gonna say why. Like I said, that talk really started in 2018. It really revved up in 2018, and everybody jumped on it. But
Okay.
it only came because of what happened the previous year, the previous season in 2017,
Mhm.
um, when the SEC, when playing against the Big Ten, when teams from the SEC played against teams in the Big Ten in 2017, yes, the SEC, or I should say the Big Ten, did better, but it was
Right.
only 3 games,
Okay.
or no, 4 games actually, four
Mm-hmm.
games,
Mm-hmm.
and only one SEC team beat um, a Big Ten team that year,
Okay. All
and
right.
that was Florida beating Iowa,
Right.
and they beat them 30-3. They spanked them in the Outback Bowl.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but that same year, um, Michigan beat Florida.
Correct.
They spanked Florida
Right.
that year. Um, Purdue spanked Missouri that
Right.
year.
Yes, it did.
Northwestern just survived and beat
Mississippi State.
no, they beat Kentucky.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
Northwestern beat them by a point.
Yeah,
So coming
that's
into
right.
two,
But Northwestern beat this Mississippi State last year, this past season
yeah,
in the bowl game.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Um, so Northwestern beat Kentucky by a point. So
Okay.
so basically, um, the Big Ten was 3-1 against the SEC in 2017.
Right.
So coming into 2018 season, that forced the talk of, well, has the Big Ten caught up with the SEC? That's where that started from. I believe in 2017.
Okay.
Have they caught up with them? Because prior to that, that talk wasn't there because the SEC was winning. They were beating those guys when they did play.
Okay. All right.
Um, except for like the you mentioned yesterday about when Wisconsin upset LSU.
Yeah.
That was in 2016. But other than that, I mean, you know, and Michigan spanking Florida also that year too. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, the SEC, they beat them. They were like 4-2 that year, and just the
Right.
previous year. So 2017 brought the talk into 2018. But
Uh-huh.
I think 2018 answered that question and shut that down resoundingly.
Okay.
In the
And how?
four games, when in the interconference play with Florida, SEC versus the Big Ten in 2018, when everybody was doing the talking before the season. Well, let's see what happened. South Carolina in the Outback Bowl spanked Michigan. Well, no, they didn't spank them. They beat them though. They
Okay.
beat them. Um, Missouri beat Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
2017, Purdue spanked Missouri. Missouri answered that the following season and beat Purdue.
All right.
Right?
All right. All right. Now, are you
Okay.
talking about
And hold up.
2018 or 2017?
2018.
2018. Okay. This past season.
Yes.
Okay.
Missouri beat Purdue. Auburn trounced. I mean, you said took to the woodshed. They took them to the woodshed. They took
Ooh.
Purdue to the woodshed.
Okay.
63-14
Right.
in the Music City Bowl,
Right.
which
I remember that.
I mentioned that yesterday.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then Jim Harbaugh went up against Florida.
Right.
Like I said, 2017, Michigan spanked Florida. Well, what
Mm-hmm.
happened last year? 41-15, Michigan got trounced
Right.
in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
So, sweep, clean sweep in 2018.
All right.
Clean sweep for the SEC over the Big Ten, which shuts down all of that talk from one season happening. It's like the Bills can beat the Patriots once a year, but they're not gonna, that doesn't mean the Bills are better than the Patriots, or the Wizards could possibly one time shock the Golden State Warriors, but they're not better than the Warriors. And 2017, the Big Ten shocked, you know, the SEC that year, and give them credit because the Big Ten is a very good conference, but the SEC is a great conference,
Okay.
and that makes all the difference.
All right. All right. So that's your story. That's your explanation. That's your argument.
Yes, the talk came from 2017 where Big Ten got overhyped, and they made it seem like, oh, they've caught up to the SEC. But my contention is what happened the very next season, the year that everybody was making all this talk. That year, it was a clean sweep.
Okay.
But I will say this in ending: Clemson spanked Alabama.
All right.
Clemson spanked Alabama in the conference championships. So I definitely understand that. But Clemson is the best team in the conference. And I mean, we got them at number one. So
Oh,
that doesn't mean that the whole conference is better. They might have the best team, but that doesn't mean the whole conference is better.
well, okay. I
And
I can understand that. I can agree
and
with.
and I end my argument there.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I agree. I agree with some points that you made, like the one about the point about when you said you know the Big Ten. I think you said to the effect of it's better than the SEC. I wouldn't go that far as to say that they are better, but here's how I would word it: the SEC is the best conference, but they're not overwhelmingly better than everybody else. Okay. Um.
Okay.
Here's my point: when the SEC plays Big Ten schools, when SEC schools play Big Ten schools, the better schools in the SEC plays the least schools in the Big Ten. If you match up Auburn, all right, if you match up Auburn with Wisconsin, guess what happens?
We don't know.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's my point. There's a I don't know factor. If you match up Iowa
Well, I
with
said we don't know because they didn't play. But
I know,
I would go with Auburn.
you would go, okay, well, that's fine. Okay, well, to your point, the last time Auburn played Wisconsin, Wisconsin spanked Auburn.
Right.
That was 4 years ago. They spanked them in a bowl game, in the Capital One Bowl. Okay,
Right.
just for your record. Now,
Right.
so my point is, here, and I'm gonna reiterate, Russ. I'm not saying that the Big Ten is better than the SEC. I'm saying that the SEC is not overwhelmingly better than everybody else. That's
Wait,
my
was it? No, I agree with that. I don't disagree with that. I don't think they're overwhelmingly better than. I believe they're overwhelmingly better than majority of the conferences out there. Now, when you start talking about the big, the top five, then I would definitely put Big Ten behind the SEC as second, and
okay,
they're up and coming.
and that's fine.
Like I
Yeah,
said, I think Big Ten is a very good conference, but
right.
I just don't think they've surpassed the SEC yet. No,
Okay,
you
yeah,
know,
and I agree with you. I don't think they surpassed them, but they're not far behind them. You know what
no,
I mean?
no, I don't think they are either. I mean, obviously because Clemson, we see that it's not a guarantee that when a SEC team plays a Big Ten team that it's just a given. Oh yeah, the SEC is going to win that. That's not a guarantee. No.
Right.
So Big Ten is definitely competitive with them, and they have teams there that they recruit just as their recruiting is getting continually to get better,
Mm-hmm.
and they're starting to recruit on a pretty high level like the SEC.
Right. Right.
So I definitely don't think that they're overwhelmingly better, but my thing is just shutting down the argument that they've surpassed the SEC as the best conference. I
No,
don't
no,
believe that.
I, I don't believe that either. But
Okay.
like I said, I mean, even if you can even go to draft picks, you
Right.
know, perennially, the SEC always puts out the most draft picks. But
Right.
if you look at the records, right in the back of that is the Big Ten Conference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the
And that,
SEC's putting up
and
a
it's
lot
only
of
gonna grow. It's only gonna grow for the Big Ten.
right, exactly. I mean, the SEC puts out a lot of a huge quantity of players, but in my opinion, the Big Ten puts out a huge quality of players. I mean, if you go down each of these rosters in the NFL, man, you can look at each roster and say, "Wow, this guy's from the Big Ten. He's a huge contributor."
I
You know,
definitely agree with that. But and I'm not making any excuses. I definitely agree with what you just said, no doubt about it. But I also take into account that the SEC, I think a lot of these kids get beaten up playing college football in the SEC.
hmm
And when they make it to the pros, they don't have enough left in the tank sometimes, especially when
okay,
we're discussing running backs, um, even quarterbacks.
hmm
I think that happens a lot. I'm not going to mention the defensive players because those are the ones that really do stick in the NFL from the SEC. That is,
hmm
those guys are more sure picks. They're going to play well.
true,
And
true.
and I think that when we look at the offensive side in the SEC, a lot of those guys take beatings. Like I said, the running backs, they they kind
The
of
skill.
yeah, the skill guys.
hmm
They kind of underachieve, I think, in the NFL compared to
Yep.
maybe the Big Ten.
Right,
And,
right,
and and I think the Big Ten might have better quality on offense, but not
right.
on defense.
Okay. All right.
That's how I would see it.
Okay.
You know.
So I guess we actually do come to a common ground and agreement as the SEC
Yes.
as conference, but the Big Ten is not there very far from behind them.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Big Ten. I mean, like I said, I think those are the top two conferences.
Right. I
And
can.
yeah, and I mean, as we went through the conferences tonight, we kind of saw that. I mean, I don't think those other conferences can compete.
Right.
They might have one team that can compete.
Right.
But not as a whole.
Right. Right.
Whereas the Big Ten is starting to develop more teams, I think, that are successful, and they're going to continue to recruit well because you got teams like the Clemsons and Ohio State and Michigan. It's hard for me to really name them because their history, they've always recruited well.
Right.
They're gonna always be there.
Right.
So but now you're getting the Clemsons and once you get some other teams to continue to grow, then it's going to be a real challenge then against the SEC. It's going to be a battle, but I don't think the SEC is going anywhere.
No, I
I don't
agree.
think, no, yeah, the recruiting that those guys do, especially in the SEC West,
Right.
you know, um, with Alabama, LSU. I mean, LSU recruits just as good, sometimes even better. When you look at their
Right.
recruiting classes, sometimes they're even, to me, I look at them, I'm like, wow, their recruiting class is better than Alabama's this year. But
Yeah.
it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't pan out for some reason.
It it just doesn't. But see, the thing with LSU, Russ, we've said it before and again and again. I mean, for some reason, they're allergic to quarterbacks. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Think about this, Russ. If LSU just had, in the last, let's say in the last 10 years, LSU had two really good quarterbacks, you know, they would probably win another one or two national titles because they're that
Right.
good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They're that talented, but they never have that court. I mean, that year when they lost to Wisconsin, their quarterback play was horrendous.
Right.
I mean, dude was I don't even know I forgot. I think his name was Tony Jefferson or something
Yeah.
Tom Jefferson,
Yeah.
but he was just he, oh my god, it was so ugly. But yeah, I mean LSU man, they're top flight in recruiting, but they just hit their face against the walls every time when it comes to quarterback. I don't know what it is, but I mean going back to the argument, surprisingly we actually kind of agree.
Right. I didn't expect that. I thought you were trying to you were going to argue that the Big Ten was better than the SEC, and
No, you
that's
see, again, Russ, I'm a realistic football fan. You know what I mean?
right,
I'm
right, right,
an objective football fan. I'm not delusional. You know what I
right.
mean? I know we talk junk to each other all the time, but when it comes down to it, man, call a spade a spade. We're
Right.
just not as good as the SEC, but we're not as bad as people make it out to be. That
No, no,
SEC,
I don't think they're bad at all. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I completely agree. SEC is the best conference, top to bottom, in the in college football. I mean,
Yeah.
here's how I would rank it, Russ. I would go SEC, Big Ten, and probably ACC. The
Yeah.
top. Those three,
ACC. Yeah.
you know what I
Pac-12
mean?
is last.
Yeah,
Big 12,
absolutely.
then Pac-12.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I would rank it right now. As far as it stands right now, I would go like that. I mean, until USC grows some nuts and starts, recruiting well and playing and,
Right.
and coaching well, dude, I don't know what is going on with USC, man. I
Right.
really don't.
Yeah, they
I
got
don't
to
know
get
what.
back to their old winning ways. I mean, it's been a long time.
Man, a long time, bro. It's been like 15 years since USC.
Right. You got a teenager.
Right. I mean, Marcus was born when
Right. Right.
USC won when Reggie Bush, was
Right.
there. You know what I'm saying? And now
Right.
the kid, he's getting ready to start playing his own football.
Right. That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, unbelievable, man. So yeah, man. So I mean, listen, man. Again, always fun. Always love it, man.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I mean, you definitely bring it, and it's always a breath of fresh air to talk sports with you, whether we agree or disagree. I always respect
No
what you
doubt.
come to the table with, because I know what you're talking about,
Exactly.
and and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna go on. I'm gonna get off. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about some of these pundits out there, but
Right.
it,
Right.
it's it's hard to stomach
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
to listen
Yeah.
to certain people, but
Yeah, I mean, even one of the guys you just mentioned, Skip Bayless, when you was joking around with, I mean, that
well,
guy,
I mean, he's the worst of the worst. So
right,
you know,
right, and him and oh my God, Shannon Sharp,
Shannon
he,
Sharp is funny.
yeah, he's fun. He is funny. Skip, come on, Skip. Listen, I mean,
You nail that. You nail that.
Skip, listen, Skip. Let me tell you something, Skip. Yeah, really, is that all you know? Is this is his name? Good Lord, say some dialogue or something. You know? Oh man. So
Yeah,
yeah, these guys, man. I mean, I don't know if you listen to this guy. You know, I know you listen to Colin sometimes, right? Kyle Hurd.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Think about that guy, man.
Kyle Turd.
Yeah, Kyle Turd. Kyle Turd. What do you think about Kyle Turd?
I mean, once in a while he'll say stuff that I agree with, so I can't really say everything he says I disagree with, but a lot of it I do. Most of it I do.
Yeah.
Most of it, you know, I disagree with a lot. You know,
Right. Yeah, you're right.
and
Some of it I do
once
agree
in a
with, but
while he'll
most
say something I'll be like, oh yeah, you know what, I agree with that.
right.
Yeah, but far in between.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. By the way, Russ, how do you feel about LeBron and this? Because I'm
Uh
trying to
oh.
set it up. I'm trying. Wait a minute. I'm trying to set it up for the next time when we come back on the podcast, so we can have something. You know, some a debatable discussion. I don't know. I mean, I don't. That's why I'm asking you. How do you feel about the LeBron
So
situation?
wait. Let me ask you this. So what are we gonna? Are we discussing NBA tomorrow?
Yeah, the next time we get on, we're discussing NBA, but we're going to tackle basketball this time.
Okay, that works for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the prophetic juices down, and I'm gonna save that for tomorrow or for our next episode. But just know we're gonna discuss the king.
The king, the
Yeah,
king. Now, are you saying the king?
that's what they call him, right?
Oh yeah, I guess.
The crown could be a little crooked,
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
but I guess
You know,
he's a king.
I guess he is.
That's his
I
nickname.
That's his nickname, or the chosen one, or the other one, right? That's the other nickname,
Right,
chosen one.
right, right,
So
right.
we'll discuss that. You know, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss the NBA aftermath, free agency aftermath. Uh,
Yes,
you know, I tell you
that
what.
should be fun. That should be fun.
Yeah, yeah, that should be. How do you
That
feel about
sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Um, Jameis is playing. I
it?
think
Yeah,
Jameis said he's playing against I forgot who they're
yeah,
playing in the preseason game. Yeah,
yeah.
and
So
then
I'm very interested to see that.
plus Friday night, you have America's team playing. So make sure you tune in for that, folks.
Oh, what the Patriots are playing on Friday night?
Oh boy, that's another episode. Please don't we I will shut that argument down. Don't let the prophetic juices start flowing again.
No, I'm serious. You said America's team, so I was like, oh wow, the Patriots are playing. Oh, I didn't know that.
No, 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 no. You know what I'm talking about. The real America's team. The
Oh,
Dallas
oh,
Cowboys. The
oh,
star.
are you talking about like the our servicemen, like our police and firefighters and
No, no, no. The Dallas Cowboys.
you talking about the Dallas? Wait, you think they're America's team?
No, I don't think. They've been America's team. I know they're America's team.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought the
Yeah,
New
I'll
England.
break it down. I can break it down to you in one of our episodes. Coming up episodes, so everybody can finally once and for all understand why they're America's team.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Monday, we're gonna tackle the NBA first. Knock that out first, and then we're
Okay,
gonna we're gonna get back to football,
we're gonna discuss America's team. Yeah,
and we're gonna discuss America's team and why you think the Cowboys are America's team and why I think the Patriots are America's team. Can we do that?
yeah, we can do that. And I mean, that won't take long.
Okay. All
That'll
right.
be
If you
easy.
say so. If you say so. If you say so.
That's gonna be very easy.
Okay. I can't wait for this one. This is
Oh
man.
yeah, I can't wait. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
This finally. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
folks. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Finally. Folks, tune in when we get back at it. We're gonna discuss the aftermath of the free agency aftermath in basketball and NBA. And then we're gonna tackle this Dallas Cowboy, America's team phenomenon. That
Phenomenon.
that Rostradamus, the prophet, thinks is something. It's actually,
Knows.
yeah, okay. Thinks he knows. It is.
And folks, make sure you bring your pens and your papers and your notepads because I want y'all to take notes so we never have to make this argument again. We never have to discuss it ever again.
All right,
Okay?
sounds
So
good. Well, what I love. I love delusional cowboy fan because he loves his team so much.
I
To the point that it's nothing can change his mind. Nothing is.
I'm just talking facts. It won't be any opinions. Trust me. It's facts.
Wow. Okay.
Facts.
All right. Sounds good. We'll discuss it on Monday, and we need to get a poll on this, man, because
You you remember when I'll just say this. You remember when the Lakers when there was like Kobe and Shaq
mhm.
and they were like the most hated team,
Yes.
like yes. And Shaq left, they went down, then they came back up with Kobe. Kobe got two chips or whatever, got his chips. And
Right.
then for the rest of Kobe's career, the Lakers were like non-existent, right?
Right.
They they weren't relevant anymore,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. So are you? I mean, is that sort of what you're relating to the Cowboys since '95? Or I mean,
No,
because
no, I'm relating that to the Patriots.
the Patriots aren't relevant. Oh, okay. All right. I
No, no, no,
got you.
no, no. The Patriots are still relevant. They
Okay.
haven't hit. They haven't hit that irrelevancy yet, but they
Okay.
will
Okay.
because Brady's not going to be playing when he's 50,
That's true. This
and
is
Belichick is going to be gone. And once they're gone, nobody's going to care anymore.
okay.
But
So,
I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to get,
oh man, you know what, Russ? Yeah,
I
you're right.
want to save some for
Yeah, say some
because
for.
like I said, I'm going to totally destroy this argument once and for all.
Yes, no, not Rustradamus the prophet.
The Prophet. That's right.
All right,
AKA the
so
Prophet.
all right, so look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna knock the NBA out the box real fast because we
Right.
we already know pretty much, you know,
Right.
what's gonna happen in NBA. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
But yeah, we've got to get this cowboy thing straightened out because
Yeah. It's enough. Enough
this
is
is a
enough.
debacle.
Yeah.
This is a
Enough is enough.
debacle. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is enough. This is embarrassing. Okay.
Hey, look, and all you cowboy haters out there, please tune in. Please tune in.
Yes, please, please. And you know what?
I need all of your energy.
All you Patriots fans out there, tune in too, because you've got to
Yeah.
hear this.
Yeah.
This is madness. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All you guys in New England and Boston, because that's where 95% of your fans are.
Okay. Well, and that's fine. And when if they keep winning, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. So
Yeah.
that's what we'll do, Russ. So
95 of their fans are right there in New England. Just want to make that point.
all right. I think I know where you're gonna go with this. Get
Yeah.
some rest, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Good work today. And
Yes, absolutely.
no doubt. All right. So until then, man.
All right.
All right, cuz.
All right.